Hi all, it's Tom. So, in case you're all wondering, like, does Tom ever change his shirt? Well, I told you guys, I get a chance to do videos like my grandchildren ain't here right now. I do them as much as I can when I can. So, short story. I've been doing a lot of these knife videos and stuff out here on the porch, patio, whatever you want to call it. Just dropping them into a stump, throwing them into a stump, feather sticks, stuff like that. Because now that I moved into the apartment, they won't allow me to do it over here in the woods because they don't want the woods, messed up. So, Lackawanna State Park, it's a lake in a state park that's like, I don't know, 15 minutes up the road. I first found out that the head ranger of the park was an old family friend. I called him and I told him what I wanted to do, and he said to me, well, as long as you're not building open fires, because I'd like to go up there, and shoot a few videos of a week or a month or whatever out in the woods, but it's going to be in a state park location where I can be safe. And there's a brush pile or two there, so I have wood to work with. And he said, if you want to really, if you want to show like how to build a fire with whatever, um, just do it in one of the barbecue little pits. It's like, okay, sounds good to me. So, the reason why I'm bringing all this up is I have some black and white fire starter here. Some new old stuff. Black and White sent it to me, and I realized that I can't do any more reviews on the fire starters out here on the porch like I was doing because some guy up the road here almost burnt down an apartment building, and they put out this big thing: if they catch a light in any fires or even barbecue grills, you're out of here. I won't chance it. So, Mr. Outdoorsy, I will get to it this spring because of the thing with the Lackawanna State Park, and I do apologize. I thought I had already done them. I really did. And he called me out. He said, "No." It's like, Then I found out, I really hadn't done a video on them. So the next knife I want to bring, long-winded stories. But the next knife I want to show you, years back when I used to buy these French trade knives and English trade knives off of a guy named Jeff White. Now, he made knives for reenactors. They really weren't bushcrafting knives. And after much to do with the heavy hitter bushcrafter, them two got together and he started selling his knives on the website. And then he started making his own. Well, Jeff, in the meantime, had gotten sick. He wanted to get out of the business, and he had an apprentice by the name of Dan Ferguson. And Dan started making Jeff's knives with Dan's logo. So, well, I gave one to my brother. Blah 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 blah. I had five of them, and one day I woke up, I had none. So I was like, well, I gotta go find a Jeff White knife. And I couldn't find him anywhere. This is how I found out about Dan and everything because I called Jeff. It's like, hey, where can I get your knife? He's like, you can't. So, Madison Poole, she used to have a channel called Bombproof Bushcraft. If you can catch the old videos on her channel, lots of great content. She's over on Rumble now, I believe it is, or Instagram. So anyway, she started a store, online store called Bombproof Bushcraft. So I got a hold of Madison because I happened to notice that Dan Ferguson's knives are on her website. There was a Jess Monk, there was a Camp One, there was a Sloyd, there was the French Trade, Ness Monk. I mean, not a Jess Monk. There was a bunch of his knives on there. I was like, oh, good, it's, might as well say it's a Jeff White to buy his apprentice, right? So that's what we did. So if you want this knife, you can also get the Ness Monks, a Sloyd knife, which is like a work tough geared Jimimco or something like that. It's kind of just a straight knife that comes to a point. Well, it's got a roach belly on it, but it's a thin knife anyway. A Nessmunk's got that butcher knife hump, just like Nessmunk's, and the French trade is the French trade. But they're on very limited quantities because she can't get a hold of Dan anymore to get the knives made. So if you want to get one, you got to get over there quick. So let me show you the sheath first. Now these you can get for the knife. They're an extra $20 besides the knife. This beautiful heavy leather sheath. Yep, leather. Generous belt loop in the back. Nice heavy leather. Single stitched, no rivets. Good welt in them. These are made by Shackle Homestead. Wonder if that's Keith over at Ramshackle Homestead. I'll have to find out. So that's the sheath. And here's the knife. So here's the knife. Now, we were talking about the one from Donovan 2 here not too long ago with the roach belly. Same thing with these French trades. See, they come up here and then they kind of got roached out. They got curly maple scales. These are an 1/8 inch thick, heat treated to a 56, 58 convex grind. Okay, it looked bent there for a second. It's convex grind, absolutely phenomenal 90-degree spine. Beautiful distal at the tip, perfect grind all the way through. The only problem I have with any of these knives is this right here. See this little spur sticking out? It bumps up against my knuckle and I catch myself every time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round that off and dull the knife down a little far so I won't be catching my knuckle and cutting myself. There's two pins, two brass pins that hold her in, hold the scales on, and they're glued, and a lanyard hole in the back which didn't come with Jeff's knife. They are true full tang, 5.5 inch blade, 5.5 inch cutting surface. They're left unpolished on top, polished down the bottom, so you get a nice two-tone roach belly French trade knife with curly maple scales. I mean, come on, that thing is beautiful, right? Perfect knife for any kind of woodsman's chores. I mean, for hunting, my brother uses his every year. On here, there's a Dan Ferguson logo and the Bombproof Bushcraft logo, which is a exploding round bomb. Convex edge, razor sharp. This one here I know is razor sharp. Well, you're not going to see the hair, but there's a wad there. Yeah, so if you're looking for something like this or, a bushcrafting type knife or whatever, get over to Madison Pools. It's bombproofbushcraft.com. You'll see them come up. It'll say shop now, run down the list of knives. Like I said, they are in very limited quantity. I think that she only has 2 of these left. So they're very limited quantity, but boy, I'll tell you what, they run in a $65 to $70 price range, but you won't touch a better knife. Especially if you want to get into reenacting or something like that. Man, these are period correct knives. It was back in the 17 and 1800s. What you cut your bread with in the morning, you shoved in a sheath that went hunting with it in the afternoon. Came back home and cut your meal up with it at night. So the knives run around $65 to $70, and the sheath is an extra $20. Knife fits the sheath beautiful, and it is a vertical only carry. Madison's a great lady. She's got a great store, lots of great deals, and she carries knives, swords, or not knives and swords, but knives and axes, paracord, blankets, you name it. And if you need something from like Possum Pouch, which she also carries, J. Hercules, she can help you get that. And she does a lot of the bushcrafting shows too. But if you're interested in getting one of these types of knives, a Sloyd type knife, uh, Nessmuck, and I believe she has the brush one or Camp King, something like that. Um, that's the place to get them. That's the only place to get them, and she does have very limited quantities of them. So she's working on a deal where she is going to be able to bring you back some knives like this, of this quality, but she's working on it. And Keith, if this is one of your sheets, man, that's a nice job. Keith and his wife runs Ramshackle Homestead on YouTube. He was on Alone season 6 or 7, I think it was. He's got a good channel. He's a reenactor himself, and he knows his business in the woods. So does Madison. Don't forget to check her channel out here on YouTube and Rumble she's on, and Instagram too. So once again, Jeff White trade knife, Dan Ferguson trade knife, curly maple scales, 2 brass pins, 5758 hardness, 5.5-inch cutting blade, convex, 1095. Can't ask for a better bush knife. Hey, this is Tom. I want to thank you for your time and your patience. I want to thank Madison for holding this knife for me. I went to buy it. Something came up. I was like, Madison, can you hold that? She's like, no problem, Tom. It's like, oh, thank you. Got it the next month. So, and the funny part is I got a really nice letter from Madison. Here we go with the Madeline. Really nice letter from Madison, and I got a freebie P38 can opener with it. Thanks, son. So this is Tom. Thanks for your time and your patience. Don't forget to share the video out. Don't forget to get over there and get the supplies you need. And we'll see you guys on the next ones.